Hello, hello, and welcome back to Summoner's War. I'm your host, LPO Tree, the real tree, and I will stand up. This is Fuki. He's one bad mother Fuki. He is an Oni. He is one of the newer monsters in the game, the newer 4-star monsters. The best thing about these ones is their passive skill says critical hits won't occur when attacking the enemy. Hopefully this means that all the proportional damage that they have is pretty high, and the lack of critting means that you don't have to ruin them with crit rate or crit damage. So that's the key element to these monsters. This one, however, is an HP unit, so we probably want him to be on high HP. His first and second skill looks like it's still based on his attack. So then we want high HP and then high attack. And so that's what I went for. First skill has a 2-turn armor break with a 20% chance per hit. Hits twice, and I recover HP by 30% of the damage for each hit. It goes up to 50% chance, so obviously you want to skill him up, just not with Devil Mod. His second skill, AoE attack, endure 1 turn if enemy gets defeated. This looks dumb. My opinion on endure effect and even on reviving, if it has to happen like that, then you're probably doing something wrong. I mean, reviving at least is good because you know that that monster is set to die, and it counters certain things like heavy damage units, like something that's single one-shot kill, one kill kind of things. However, you need to kill with this, so that the whole setup just to get the endure effect is kind of weak, especially for just 1 turn. If this was maybe a 2-turn or 3-turn, then I'd recommend this skill. Otherwise, I just rather the armor break over and over again. His passive is quite interesting and quite misleading. It says decreases your current HP by 20% at the start of each turn and inflicts additional damage by 20% of your lost HP when you attack on your turn. What this means is, just as it says. Anyway, so you do lose 20% HP every time you move. Obviously, it's of your current HP and not your max HP, so you can't kill yourself. If he was at 1 health with Endure on and he takes 20% damage, then he'll still be at the same health. Or even if he's at like 10% health, he'll just take 1/5 of that, so he'd be at like 8% health. Because that's math. Inflicts additional damage by 20% of the lost HP. You look at this like Trevor. Trevor was a Fire Neostone fighter. The more damage you take, the more damage he does. But in this case, it says additional damage by 20%. We look at this like the artifacts that do additional damage based on blah blah blah. And when you use those, it's more like ignored damage additional to each attack. Like a flat rate. So in this case, I have about 40,000 HP. It says I do 20% of lost HP. If I was at 1 health, say I lost 40,000 HP, I should do about 8,000 damage extra per hit, plus whatever the normal multipliers are for these 2 skills. So we'll try that out. Alright, so for the build, I went the standard. Everyone recommended Vampire, Destroy, Speed, HP, HP. You try to get those more HP subs here, as well as attack subs. For artifacts, I went with, you either want skill and recovery, you either want lifesteal, or just the damage stuff. You also like this one, additional attack proportional to lost HP. So the more damage he takes, obviously the more damage he does. That's basically what his kit does. And maybe something like damage received from fire, because fire is the one that's going to be attacking them most. However, I went with these. Just try it out. Now, where would you take him? He's basically going to be your wind tank. So the way the 4-star wind tanks go is basically him, Skogul, and probably Triana. There's not too much else in the 4-star realm. Let alone ones that actually do damage. It's basically just him and Skogul. So people really are determining, should you build him or Skogul? Skogul has that rock, a passive where he throws a rock, he'll get damage reduction and as well as a cooldown reduction. So Skogul, we know, already does tremendous amounts of damage. If you didn't know, Skogul actually has a defense lead also, so he's actually not bad. This guy awakens into resistance and has no leader skill at all. And then once you get the Win Monkey or Win Panda, you probably wouldn't need to use him anymore ever again. But let's test him out and see what I think at the end. Anywhere this Win Panda would be, I'd put in that guy. And unfortunately he might not be tanky enough, but that's what I would do. Alright, so far so good. So already it's kind of weird if you just AoE this thing. I have no damage lost, so I'm only going to do basic amounts of damage. But we'll try it anyway. So most of it's based off that plus 700 attack that I had. Let's try it. So 10,000 on this thing. But it killed two things, so I should have Endure. I don't like this one turn Endure. I think it's kind of weak. Maybe this is more. He'd be better, or useful. That should kill them. Make sure they're dead. Priority 1. Rule of attacking is always kill. Because if Perna moved, then Perna would heal everyone. Perna is actually one of the best healers in the game. A consistent thing, heals about the same rate as like a Colleen. About 10% per turn. Finish? 10,000. So not bad. Alright, this is one of the teams that this might work on. Depending on whether or not this thing kills this thing. Alright. So I don't want him to provoke that thing yet, so let's Armor Break. 8,000 damage, that's actually not bad. Little speed buff and buff him full. Kill. Armor Break. Too good. So I guess his passive does work, so it's not like this thing's worked by crit rate, crit damage, whatever. The kill. 7,000. Let's not do that. So half health. So it should be 4,000 per hit, regardless of the defense break. So at least that makes sense. I don't care if he dies. It's done. So now this should be, yeah, 4,000. But he's not gonna take any damage anymore. Can I kill with this thing? So this is what? More than a third. It's like 40% off. So this should be at least, well, obviously gonna be, I'm thinking more than double the single attacks. But even then, I doubt it. So probably like 8k. Yeah. Test has been complete. Oh, I don't do it. Alright, final test. I don't care if he dies. You might need to be slowed. Don't do it, you stupid thing. Okay. No health. This should be How about 8,000 each? It doesn't matter what his thing is, it's just additional damage. So the first hit did it. I guess the second hit healed him? Try it again. I'm gonna try on this one. It should be 8,000, 8,000 at least. This one has no defense, so there should be a lot more. Or let's try it because he has armor. 8,000, 8,000. Like the armor didn't even matter. So it is. So yeah, the armor break didn't matter either. That is interesting. So then the shield didn't matter either. So 4,000, so maybe 5,000 damage each hit. Or for the first hit. He's at 0 health. So ignore defense, ignore shield. 8,000 at least for the first hit. That's what's going on. Now is that even good enough? Go sleep. 8,000, 6,500. Interesting. So it doesn't matter what his he has no defense anyway. So 7,000, probably like a 6,000. That was a pretty good test, actually. Alright, so my final thoughts on this mother Fuki over here. I don't like him, actually. You know, it's kind of a weird. Maybe I'll try him. Free removal is coming up. We're supposed to get like a couple of weeks of it because of their critical rate error. Even though this guy doesn't use critical rates. I don't like this second skill. Remember, if you have to use Endure, you're doing something else wrong. That's why no one uses Steel Mars anymore. And no one uses really, what, Water Death Knight? I don't know. So Endure is not really that good. And so basically, unless you're really going to kill something and then you are going to die, which is very niche, you know, something else is probably wrong. I would actually just focus on the first skill. You still need the skill ups to make it 50% because 20% is total garbage. And then when you get to here, I don't even think Vampire is that great. I think maybe just Vampire. And hopefully something else that can heal him up incrementally. Perna or something. And then focus on skill 1 recoveries and lifesteal to leech back the health, and just use the first skill over and over again. That's probably the best way to go about it. And then when you build him, you want to make him as tanky as possible. Just max out that HP. Go for like, you know, 40k, 50k, like a beast monk style type HP. And then don't worry about the attack, even though first and second skill are based on the attack. Your job is just to tank and focus on the defense, maybe some speed, maybe 100% resistance, and then you don't worry about these two. Accuracy should be there too because of the first skill, but right now since I only have 20%, having this is not that big a deal. And finally, if you do get the Wind Monkey or Win Panda, then you probably just replace them anyway. So anyway, thank you for watching. Have a good night, have a good day, and have a good bye.